What's good, everyone? Today I'm going to be taking you through 10 tips which I think are absolutely vital when using Procreate. Alright, let's jump straight in, waste no time at all. Tip number 1 today, start with a clear idea of what you want to create. This might seem super basic, but having a clear idea of what you want to do can really help you get to the end point before you even start. I'm sure there's more than a few of you out there who have sat there in front of a blank screen like this before and gone, I don't know what to create, procrastinated for a while, and then ended up not doing anything at all. So what I suggest is jotting down a couple of ideas every couple of days, get a list going, and then work down them one by one. Tip number 2, experimenting with different brushes to find which one works best for you. Procreate has an amazing range of brushes, more than 200 pre-installed when you first get the app, broken up into all sub-menus here, which really make life very easy, but you're only going to know what they are if you get out there and give them a go. Experiment with these brushes, find what works for you, and you'll go that much further with Procreate. Tip number 3, using Color Drop to quickly fill in pieces of your artwork. Color Drop is one of the best features of Procreate. All we have to do is press and hold on the color selection on the top right hand of the screen, and we're going to drag it onto our artwork where we want it to fill. Watch what happens when I do it here. I let go, and it's going to fill that piece of the artwork. There'll be a little notification that comes up in the middle of the screen which says continue filling. If you do want to continue filling other pieces of your artwork, we're going to make sure we tap on that, and then wherever I tap with my pencil, it's going to automatically fill those areas. Tip number 4, make use of layers to separate different elements of your design. This is going to be important for beginners all the way through to advanced users. There's nothing better than having different parts of your artwork separated out. If we have a look here, I've got many different layers going on in this artwork. I can tap them on and off as I wish, and that way I can go and affect those changes later on without worrying about affecting the whole entire piece. If you're not using layers, promise me one thing at the end of this video, you'll start using them. Tip number 5, make sure you're using different types of erasers to create different textures when you are removing parts of your design. If I come in here with a really nice brush that's got a lot of texture to it like this, if I go ahead and erase with a hard edge brush, watch what's going to happen. I lose a lot of that texture. Adversely, if I already had my brush selected, this one here, all I have to do is press and hold on the brush icon and it's automatically going to select that same brush, and then if I go ahead and delete, it's going to erase in the same sort of brush effect that I painted it with. This is going to be super useful if you do want to create nice textures and patterns throughout your artwork. Tip number 6, use Quicklime tool to draw lines nice and straight the first time. I use this one all the time. It's absolutely fantastic, especially if you want to get nice, big, long, straight lines in our artwork and worried about them being a little too wobbly in the end. All we're going to do is draw our line like we normally would, but when we get to the end of it, we're going to pause on the screen with our pencil still on the screen, and it's going to snap it to a nice straight line. From here, we can still move it around and make a few minor adjustments, and then when we let go, we have a nice straight line. Tip number 7, using color harmony to create harmonious designs and aesthetics within your artwork. This is a really great feature. It's a little bit hidden, but let's have a look. If we tap on our colors on the top right here, and we have our options down the bottom of the color picker here, one of them actually says harmony, and this one here, just under colors at the top, we can tap on it. We can choose from these options here, complementary, split complementary, and so forth. And as soon as we do this, it's going to put our color wheel into that color harmony, and we can select from the colors once we choose colors or make them. I give an example. If I choose a nice bright red, it's going to show me that these two are within this color harmony right here. Tip 8, adjusting layer opacity when you're sketching and using multiple layers to create better sketching results. This is a really great one to have a look at. I'll give you an example. If I want to create a leaf in amongst this design here, but I'm not exactly sure of what I want it to look like yet, I'm going to make sure I go ahead and create a new layer for it above everything else. We need it on its own layer. Then I'm going to grab a sketching brush. I've got the 6B pencil selected here. And then what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just draw a little area where I think I might want the leaf. Right, this is going to be my guide. Now I can tap on my layers, tap on the N just here, and then I get my opacity slider. We're going to slide this down to maybe 30%. After this, we'll tap on the layer, which will minimize that menu, and then we're going to create another layer over the top. Now I can come in with the same brush and I can start refining things. I know that I maybe want it coming in like this, and then I want it coming out like this, and I think that's pretty cool. Again, I'm going to go in, I'm going to drop that opacity down a little bit, not as much as the last one, and then I'm going to come over the top with maybe one more final layer, and then I can actually start doing my final sketch of that leaf where I want it. And then all I have to do is tap away the other layers, and then I've got the sketch left of what I want. This is going to be really effective when you're not 100% sure what you want to do and you need to work with a few guides. Tip number 9, use layer grouping to combine multiple layers and make them easier to work with. Say I want to group these top 4 layers together. I can tap on the first one, and then every other layer that I want to group, I'm going to swipe from left to right. As long as they go blue, we're looking good, and then we can simply tap group. Once this is done, we're going to minimize that by hitting the arrow. We can maximize it as well by doing that again. And then all we have to do is tap on the name and we can go to rename. Call it whatever we like, and then we've streamlined things so much to a point where it's going to be really easy to keep track of what we're working on. And tip number 10 today is to keep going and just have fun. Now, I know this might seem simple and it's not a traditional tip, I guess, but it is really important. I get asked by people all the time, they say, how do you know so much about Procreate? It's because I sat with it and I used it again and again for hours every day, and I absolutely loved it. But it's the only way I was going to learn these things. And there we have it. Those are this week's 10 tips for Procreate to help you go further with this fantastic app. Keep tuned to the channel. I'm going to drop 10 new ones each and every single week. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because it really does help me continue to do what I love to do and bring you these videos each and every week. So until the next video, I'll catch you then.